Hello, I'm Philip Stoten for ScoopTalk. I'm here at Apex in San Diego and I'm joined by three gentlemen to talk about total line solutions. We have Luca from Seica, Tony from Fuji, and Hans from ASM. Thanks for joining me, guys. I wanted to explore a little bit about where people are going when they start to spec a factory and they're looking for a kind of almost a one vendor solution or a smaller number of vendors to create this total factory solution, and how things like IOM and Industry 4.0 have changed that trend. Hans, perhaps if I can start with you. We traditionally knew you as C-Place, as a pick and place company, then the addition of DEC on the print side, and now the addition of elements in between and process control.
Right.
How's that evolved, and how much of that is a result of customer demand?
I think one of the things we as a philosophy have as a company is to basically go for high-end quality, give high-end solutions to customers so that they can build quality. And we know that print on the history on our placement side, especially on the printing part, is a large contributor, for instance, yield problems. So therefore, being able to control and further develop and integrate those type solutions, we have the concept of helping customers to be more concentrated on their part of having more quality.
Yeah.
And what you see now with the whole smart factory concepts coming up is that more and more all of us are starting to combine the data coming out of the machines in order to control the processes and to continuously improve.
Yeah.
I think another trend we see in the industry is that reliance on particular persons, what we call fingerspitzengefühl, to be able to, for instance, tweak a printer to the right settings. And this is one of the parts where the process expert content comes in, where we are now basically using the machines and measurements and data modules and databases to start optimizing print processes and therefore take away a big burden and part of, let's say, concern on the customer side of how to control that part.
Yeah, it's absolutely a risk, isn't it? Because if you've got one guy that's really good at tweaking it, you get the best print on his shift and you get something that's not quite the same on the other shift. You guys have been doing multiple parts of the process for a long time and integrating those. Are you seeing any change in that trend? And are people coming to you and saying, actually, I don't need a placement machine, I don't need this, I need this solution for this mix of product?
Yeah, we are definitely seeing that. We are kind of establishing a partnership with many different vendors. The idea behind it is, one of them is to collect all the data in one central place, the big data, smart factory. So having it all in one spot where they can look at defect analysis or traceability, we're able to bring in the SBI and the AOI, and you have that machine-to-machine communication. And definitely the benefits people are recognizing with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Luca, when you look at it from your point of view, you've kind of come into this from the test end, but started to recognize that your platform can be used elsewhere, and there's demand for automation that uses those different elements. How do you multiply into different parts of the line, and how do the customers respond to that?
Basically, test in the past was not considered all the time part of the assembly line. We call assembly line, but test was kind of a separate thing that could be automated, but not all the time. Today, most of our customers are asking to include the test into the assembly line. And that's why Seica has now a sister company called Seica Automation.
Right.
We took the choice to build some of our automation inside because of this continuous demand of bringing the tester into the assembly process. Of course, we're talking about Industry 4.0. Of course, we're talking about partnership with different companies. We partnered with ASM, for example, in Italy, in our country, because there is more and more need to talk each other and transfer data from one stage to the other one. Test is typically at the end of the assembly line, so we receive all the issues and the problems that has been generated in some ways from the previous stages, and we collect probably the final result of all the process. It is very important that the tester will communicate feedback back to the first part of the line to improve the process. Because the dream of everybody is eliminate, test, and do a perfect production, which is still a dream, of course. Lucky us, because I want to sell more testers in the future, of course. But it's very important to understand test like feedback to the process, not just to identify faults, but to prevent producing faults.
Not good, bad, but information.
Exactly.
Can improve further down the line. Tony, an important part of that is the collaboration, the open approach that Luca was talking about. If we look specifically at the placement area, that's always been a very competitive, very adversarial market. Is that changing when we look at things like Industry 4.0, where your customers need you to work together a bit more? Are people getting more collaborative?
Yeah, they are definitely getting more collaborative. We're finding, the customers are driving it and asking us to work together to share information. And, even working with this guy. So we are, I think both of us are opening up to that, being driven by the customer and working to get the data in a central point that everybody can benefit from it.
And Hans, from your point of view, when you look at the kind of requirements for these more solution-based sales, is there a particular place that's leading that, or is it all geographers? Are we seeing it just as much here in the US as we might be in Germany, or is it different in China?
I think what we see nowadays is that it's happening everywhere.
Right.
I think the large customers indeed have taken on the lead and actually start pushing the requirement out. This is what they want, and they basically help us to open up towards further cooperation on that element. But you see it in all regions. I think definitely here in the US, the North American market, it's a very strong activity. But I can say the same towards China and also in Europe. It's very active. I think everybody's realizing what you can do when you really get this together. And that's where I think we're all very busy with in terms of helping our customers to establish that.
Absolutely.
And Tony, that goes beyond the four walls of the factory, so it might be a multi-factory. You talked about some of the larger companies, the Jabil's, Flexes, Foxconns of this world. They're not looking to apply something just in one location. So again, that data flow and all that test information has to cross borders and cross boundaries of facilities.
Phil, you made a good point when you were talking about customers getting more collaborative. Everybody's talking about Industry 4.0, thinking about collecting data. But Industry 4.0 should be also a mind change into the people, because being Industry 4.0, it doesn't mean you eliminate people from the assembly line or from the production shop. You just need different people. Being more supervisors of automated machines than operators in front of the machine. And this is part of the mindset change that is very important. Guys using the machines are not just operating, but they are monitoring. So they collect data to prevent event, to do better maintenance, to optimize the process. But the Industry 4.0 is also related to people. Because many people are thinking robots are replacing people. It's not completely true. It's not that true.
No, we get to build the robots, so there's an issue there, and there is a big change in skills, isn't there, Hans? I mean, I think you mentioned these supervisory roles, but for me, the data analysis, taking the huge amount of data, making use of it, creating systems that can actually learn and improve the process.
Right.
Are you seeing customers embrace that and understand the training demands and challenges they've got?
I think we're all getting there.
Yeah.
Because there's no other choice. But I think we see it in our companies in terms of supporting our customers. The requirements we have for our technicians and engineers is going up and more towards understanding networking, etc. Understanding software, different skill sets required. The same is on the customer side. 10 years ago, you never would see an IT guy in any of your customer discussions. Nowadays, they're basically a key asset of the discussions taking place prior to any installation, because you need to work with those people to set up the infrastructure. And I think that's going further and further. And to your point, indeed, this is not about robots and automating everything, but it's really connecting. I see it in our personal lives, where we nowadays on our mobile phone we can track the order we just placed and see it's coming in through UPS. It's information that comes to you, and then I have time left to do other things. It's typically what we see in the factories.
Yeah, this is what I think a lot of people are calling the augmented age. This idea that rather than just have tools that have specifications that do stuff for us, we have a very collaborative relationship with those tools, whether they're robots, whether they're automation items, whether they're placement machines, whether they're different things. Gentlemen, thanks very much for your time. Thanks for chatting to me.
Thank you,
and
Phil.
We'll talk again soon. Enjoy the rest of the show.